Well then, you've come, perhaps curiosity guided, to learn of the downsides of this game that seems to have a lot of positive things said about it. Well, just leave it up to this Latvian to dig up and desecrate all the dead horses. But of course, what I consider bad may not be the same as what you find horrifying.
In which case, what kind of a weirdo are you? Or are you from Estonia or something?
So then, here's my list of top 5 worst things about Warframe. Oh, and I excluded free-to-play, grind, and pay-to-win related things due to more obvious reasons. Namely, that free-to-play is actually good, depending on its implementation, but it comes with the grind, of course, because of it. And Warframe's pretty good with the balance on it. And pay-to-win? Yeah, no. That's not even in my top 20, so Warframe's good with that too. For the 5th spot, we have the malformed Siamese twin of the grind, the fucking RNGesus. See, grind in games is put in order to pad out the play time, more often than not, but the issue with randomly generated rewards and loot can be a really horrible thing if the people using RNG are not careful. See, grind on its own can be predictable, but when you want the aspect of uniqueness, you do use some randomness somewhat. The unfortunate thing here is that even from personal experience, I can say that coders and designers take the randomness element too far. If you don't believe me, just think, how many times did you need to replay a mission just to get a certain frame part, or a weapon, or anything else, while others, your friends for example, get the thing right away, or vice versa. Remember, randomness stuff is great to create a filler, but not the substance. Which is why Warframe needs to implement less randomness on more important bits, and why it's number 5 here. Okay, so I know Warframe is old, we all know it. Still, every time I try to jump, flip, move, and perhaps attempt more daring acrobatics, more often than not, collision boxes and general collision just fails to live up to the gameplay. Worst of all, if you run into an invisible wall or get stuck somewhere, because as said, collisions in Warframe had failed in particular case, the word that I usually use in a very sarcastic way, immersion, does get broken up when you encounter this stuff. Warframe has such a nice movement model that it's a shame how it prevents you from going full out sometimes. And speaking of maps, okay, so I played Warframe back in the day when it launched. Didn't like the gameplay and left. Now I'm back and I see the same maps, but with some minute changes. Well, okay, that's fine with the starting areas and all that. But what really annoys me with Warframe is that the way these maps are made. See, Warframe's maps are basically tile-based. And worst thing of this is visible when you encounter the same looking area twice or more during one mission. And I'm not talking about one of those closets. Again, it all takes you out of it, and you start to wonder if the level designers aren't just lazy by copy-pasting things. The fact that we have Plains of Eidolon or Fortuna with some really nice designs just makes me sad how repetitive and monotone the normal missions look. Just look at how games like Resident Evil can make backtracking seem fun, or how Half-Life had developed feel for each stage in the game. It all just speaks volumes of what could be done if more effort was put in Warframe's maps too. After all, maps are a big part of the gameplay. Okay, so let's talk about how shit Australia and Americas are. No, not the politics, the ping, damn it! You see, when a cultured European like me plays with the plebeians from those colony places, it just boggles my mind how bad the ping can get. But seriously, you'd think that matchmaking, even within Europe, would be good. But nope! You'll one day sit there with a Russian teammate host that runs the game on a potato PC and a goat-powered router, and have no say in the matter. This is the issue with peer-to-peer games. Fuck, I probably know this all too well. Elite Dangerous, anyone? But there has to be something done with the horrible hosts and horrible matchmaking for Warframe, or else I'm gonna lose my mind.
And this is my internet speed in the buttfuck nowhere Latvia, damn it!
Frankly, I could play alone, but first of all, I love being carried.
Yes, feed me my overpowered minions, feed me!
And I do like to play with randoms in Warframe actually, even if I can barely understand them. So it is a disappointment when you meet a bad host, which actually happens way too often, and deserves the second spot for it.
Ow! Right, you can do that too.
But the point here is that even with the lowest tolerances set, it tends to fail quite a bit, which is why it's number 2 here. And the first place, the Jedi Rear Prize, goes to none other than the eye cancer that this game is perhaps too well known for. All the particle effects and oversaturation of them. In fact, just by playing with others sometimes gets so bad that I, someone who adapts to visuals quickly, gets a migraine from all this crap on the screen.
My eyes! My eyes!
At least there's a simple fix to this, just reduce the effect intensity. Yes, that's the one saving grace of the visual nightmare, but still, the fact that this is possible in the first place means the developers intended this to be used, which is an none too pleasant thought for me. It's often joked about in game development that if you don't know what to put in your game for substance, just spam as much particle effect as you can. Alright dude, come check this out. Frankly, Warframe does have more, just that unless the settings are turned down, you won't get to see that. Still, I'm a filthy hoe and I do enjoy particle effects galore, when it's appropriate. But with the better gear, you get more fabulous effects. And in fact, it turns me off from playing longer than an hour sometimes because of it. And there you have it. This would be my subjective list of the worst crap you can expect from Warframe. But, to be fair, this is a companion piece to the best list. And if you want a dose of positivity, do feel free to check that out too. Of course, sharing the video always helps and all that stuff, but of course, if you have your own personal list on the worst things in Warframe, do post it in comments down below. Now be sure to check it out. Until then, I think I'll go wash.
By all that's holy, my eyes! It burns! It burns!